If you could give one piece of advice to a budding entrepreneur, what would it be?
To a budding entrepreneur, the advice I would give would be to really become an expert in your business. I have a couple pieces,
Mm-hmm.
but one would be if you're going to clean windows, and you're going to have a window washing business, know everything about washing windows. Know the squeegee types, know the rubber for the seals, know what type of glass you're washing, know the soap content, what's the best soap to not leave streaks, and what is the best solutions. Don't just use some solution that seems to do the job. Use the best. Be the best. Know everything there is to know about whatever you're doing. I'm still learning about leather. I just learned some stuff the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, how long has this been happening? Since creation. So know everything. Just be a student and go in depth on your business, and then educate people. Educate people about what you learn, and then they'll appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is plead with God to help you to not be so prideful.
Mm-hmm.
Plead with Him, because what happens is God puts people around us that are He gives grace, He gives free gifts. So He gives really solid people around us. But if we're prideful, He'll put prideful people around us who will be thinking about their self and their own image, and they'll want to promote themselves at the cost of the business, at your cost. They'll want to look good to everyone at your cost, and so you'll attract those people, or you'll attract less prideful people. Never will you find a perfectly humble person. So yeah, plead with God to highlight your pride, and then plead with Him to help you to fight. Not to help you fight it. Not like it's like pride's like a 600-pound former Navy SEAL monster, 1% body fat monster. He's just got you by the ankles and he's slamming you around the ring. It's just slamming you around, and God's like, hey, you want some help? I could fight for you, and you go, yeah, no, just spray some water in my mouth. I'll be all right. You have an energy bar or something? As he's slamming you on the mat, and God's like, no, touch my hand. I'll fight for you. And it is pleading with God to fight your pride.
Mm-hmm.
Pleading with Him, and to highlight, bubble it up, Google signs of pride list, and look what you find.
Mm-hmm.
But then and then be in the Word, because then He starts producing fruit, and He starts putting people around you, and He gives you ideas, and He puts desires inside of you and efforts. He helps you with the effort to get it done, and which is people around you, because you can't do it all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's really cool. This is what's starting to happen now.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that's I would say become an expert, learn all you can, and then educate everyone, your customers, and then plead with God to help you with your pride.
How did you come up with the name Saddleback?
So there's a mountain. If you have a mountain that has two peaks, kind of a lower spot in the middle, but then goes down, that's a Saddleback Mountain. And so I thought it had a pretty cool name, Saddleback. And then there's Saddleback Church, Saddleback Mountain. There's I used to live by a town called that had a mountain called Turtleback there. It was Turtleback Mountain, and I always liked the name Turtleback. It has kind of a strong that Jack. It's kind of a strong name,
Yeah.
Sean. It's not a strong name. It has a softer, still a good name, but Jack, Rick. It just has a strong name.
Yeah.
Mike, which is a strong name. So I liked that strong, and then I liked that kind of the 3 syllables, Saddleback. So I liked Turtleback. My brother bought me a Camelback backpack for the water, and a tube, and I drink water, and I liked the name of that, and so then Turtleback, Camelback, Saddleback. I like Saddleback. It old saddle. It kind of has the long lasting, is a chunk of leather. It just seemed to fit Saddleback.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. How do you attract and retain talent here at Saddleback?
I don't know, but if you find out a way, if you could share that with me. No, if you care about your people, like you care about them genuinely. So one of the signs of pride is someone who never asks people questions. That's a sign of pride because they're only interested in themselves, their self. So why would I be interested in you and ask you, where'd you grow up? And do you have a big family? Do you have a lot of brothers and sisters? Do you, what's your weakness? And so I hire people who are interested in other people. And so when people do come here, they feel like people care about them. But the people we have hired, they really care about people, and so they're really important to them. Also, it doesn't hurt having a company that everyone really is like proud to work at. That people compliment them all the time. My brother-in-law has all your stuff. He's always talking about new bags. And, my old boss, man, he just loves your stuff. That's really, it's kind of fun to have we do a lot of fun stuff. We're pretty casual when it comes to pretty relaxed. If you need to take time off, you can. If you've used up all your vacation and you want tickets to some sort of concert in London, all expenses paid for a week, okay, bye-bye. You have fun. You go to the, we're not that much of sticklers for those rules. But we do, so people know that. It's kind of like if you wanted to go, that's a big one. Though everyone has to work in the office except for customer service, they work from home, but everyone else has to work in the office. But we tried the remote thing and it didn't work. That's not a good idea. And so, but if you can't, if you let's say you work at this place and you can't go to the street, you have an ankle bracelet on, you can't leave the perimeter or else alarms go off. There's nothing more than you want than to go across the street. You don't want anything more than to cross that street, to step off the curb. You really want to. But if you don't have this on, if you don't have that like restraint, you can go across the street if you want to. You may never go, but you don't feel uneasy about it. So knowing that you can take time off if you need to, if you want to, that gives you a freedom, and people love that. We pray for our people, and they know that, and we ask them, anything I can pray for you about? Let us know if you have something that we need to pray about, that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
That really, people know that we love them.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, and we have good vision, we have good purpose. So we're really caring about people and loving people,
Mm-hmm.
and people want to be a part of that, because I can't do it by myself. I have a lot of ideas, but when someone in customer service turns someone around, they're mad about something, they turn them around and become friends with them and care about them, that person buys another bag perhaps, or tells people about us, and so they're contributing towards the ministry that happens here at Saddleback.
Uh-huh.
So everyone knows they're part of a bigger thing.
Mm-hmm. You're mentioning how the remote thing didn't work out too well. Can you talk about why that didn't work out too well?
Yeah, there are a lot of books and stuff about remote working, and when Skype came about, and video conferencing and bandwidth got higher, people were kind of digging into that. And in some roles, yeah, it might work. It does for our customer service, and when they're sick or whatever, sniffling, fever, they can work if they want to. But what we found is people only call you if something bad is wrong, something's bad. But because you never lean in the office, hey, how'd the birthday party go, birthday boy? You never, hey, so what you got going this weekend? You don't call people and go, hey, what you got going this weekend? But you lean in the door, hey, what you got going this weekend? Anything fun? And that's all day long. So you have relationships here, and facial expressions, and let's say we had a thing with photography this morning, or yesterday. Then we're like, well, why isn't this happening? Well, I don't know. I was waiting for them, and they told me they were kind of hoping for something else, and so they told me they'd get back to me and talk to them. They said they'd get back to me, and then so we go, hey, everyone in the office, let's talk. You got time right now? Yeah, I got time. Okay, all four of us out here. What do you want? What do you want? What are you hoping for? And I'll say the vision for this section or part is this. This is what I want to see. And they go, oh, well then, yeah. Why don't we just do this? And everyone agrees, and it's not that. Working remotely is 2 to 3 weeks. Hey, can you call up John to see? Oh, he's busy. Skype says, not there. And well, we'll set up a time. When do you have a meeting? Let's get our schedules together. And next Tuesday, we can talk about photography. So things just happen. We get so much more done by just leaning in the office, asking questions. I can go sit around and walk around and just talk and relate. I can see things that I normally wouldn't see because we're all together here. We got everyone in yesterday into the office for the Apple launch, and we're like, okay, what do we have for the URL for the iPhone case? Does that work with this? What photographs? Do you have the photograph of the new iPhone, the hole in the back for the new lens? Oh, you don't? Well, can we get that before the launch? And what are we doing for the hashtags? What are we doing? And everyone is talking. We just got it all done. We sat there for like we sat up for 3 hours. No, we sat together for 4 hours. 2 hours before, and then the keynote, and then an hour afterwards. We all talked, and we had a really successful launch. So, but relationships, you build up emotional capital with people. If you mess up, they know you like them. They know that you were praying for them. They know that you paid for their lunch a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Then you mess up, and they're like, not a big deal. But if you don't have any of that built up, they don't know if you like them or not, then no go. It it just really doesn't work very often. There are some roles it does, but not very often if you want to get things done.
Mm-hmm. You're mentioning that when you were starting off, you didn't know a thing about business. What changed? Did somebody mentor you? Did you take classes? How did you improve in that area?
Yeah, I hired a business coach. I hired a CEO coach. Larry Briggs was his name. He's in Portland, and he helped me just ask questions. Like you do it all the time. Great leaders ask great questions. So I go, Larry, what do I do with this? And it's like a year and a half. We talked all the time, all week long, talking. Larry, what do I do here? Because Jimmy's doing this, and Bob thinks that, and Melissa's on board, but what? And he would go, man, that's a great question, Dave. That's tough. I don't know. What do you think, Dave? And I would give him my answer, and then pretty soon I'm like, you tricked me. You funny guy. And he would ask me to ask questions because most people already know the answer, and they have a better answer than I do. And so I didn't realize that ahead of time. But now I understand that most people have a better answer than I do, and they can do it better than I can. I just have to ask them what they think, and they get it done. So when I leave, they just go with their gut reaction, and it works out just as if I were here.
Okay. Aside from the skills to do the job, what else do you look for in potential hires?
Humble, hungry, and smart.
How do you identify that?
So when I'm asking we look at the core values index, CVI. We ask questions first. We come up with a profile of the type of person we're looking for, and then of the 4 categories, and then all those personality tests have 4 categories, generally. So we go through that, and then we So we say, okay, we want them to get energy from being around people. We want them to be good problem solvers. We don't care if they're in a hurry to do things, and we don't care if they are. But we want them to collect data. So we don't care so much about data. So we have the high in 2 categories, lower in 2 others, and then we ask questions based on those. And but then you might get someone who matches perfectly. If they're going to be doing managing the inventory levels, they're on a computer all day alone. We don't want them wandering around the office talking to everyone. That burns them out of energy. They get energy from being alone. So we look for that. But then we look for that humble, hungry, and smart. So I'll ask them questions about humble, for example. I'll say, so tell me when you've really messed up in the past. Like people were mad. Like you really inconvenient, or they really, really inconvenienced people. And one lady was like, well, yeah, I left the coffee pot on one time at work. Other than that, I've never really messed up in my whole life. That's what she was saying. That's all I can think of. I don't really mess up. I mean, okay, she's too prideful. That's unteachable prideful. And that's hard to change her self-image, and it's just, I don't want to deal with that. And I'll ask, do you have any pets? Yeah, I have 40 cats. And you go, oh, okay. So you have an ammonia factory. No, okay. So do you have any family? So no family. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, no, they're all dead. Well, they're dead to me, I go, oh yeah, we're not going to deal with that. Let's just not and say we did. And so you ask questions concerning, but especially around pride. Tell me, what are some things that you would say areas, if you had to delegate, you would delegate these things out? And other things, your strengths and weaknesses. What are some of your weaknesses? Don't really have any. Okay, bye. That's prideful. Like they want people to think that they're excellent at all things. They have a pride issue, and I don't want to deal with that here. So there are forms of pride you can deal with, and they're easy to shift and change, but other ones that are really difficult, and I don't want the whole team to have to go through that. Unteachable. I know. Not interested in other people. They're only interested in themselves. Actually, you can. There's some. Yeah. So yeah, we ask questions. I ask questions about pride. It's a big one, and the hungry and smart ones, you can coach those. Hungry, if their core values index matches up with the job you're giving them, man, they're just hungry to do a good job. They're just a hungry hippo. They just won't stop because they enjoy their work. But if they don't like what they're doing, if they don't match up, their wiring doesn't match up with their job, they're going to avoid doing it. They're going to find other things. So, yeah, you just have to I look for those things.
Great. If you can get me to ask one more question that I didn't ask already today, what question would it be? Because I thought of everything that I thought would be good to ask, but maybe I forgot something.
So I understand that my business should be a ministry, but what can I do? I don't have any ideas. Right? So what kind of things could I do in my business to be ministry stuff? Because I understand it should be that way, and I've heard people talking about it. What could I do? Right? So here's some things you can do in your business. Here's what you do so that if you really desire for your business to change and be more ministry minded, be more of if you got off the balance beam and you did your routine, you stood before God and you said, Ta-da! What do you think? God, I just did this routine on the balance beam. Do you want him to go, wow, that was great, nice job, well done? Or, and if you want that, if you genuinely want to please God with your life, and which is with your work, we're wired to work, we're built, made to work. If you just hug the balance beam, you don't want to hug the balance beam the whole time and then step off and go, ta-da, what do you think? So I would say two things. The Bible says to abide. Jesus said, if you abide in me and my word abides in you, then basically he'll bear fruit. Fruit will be dropping all off of you. He's just dropping all over the place. In Philippians, it says that God is the one who puts in us the desire and the effort to do good works. He puts it in us, and he does it for his own good pleasure. But he puts those in us. So the trick is getting God to put ideas in our heads, and then the means to pull them off. The people around us, these good ideas for things, the money. He's the one who supplies all of that. So how do we get God to give us ideas and help us to pull them off? It's be in the Word, consistently be in the Word, and to work on your humility, work on not being as prideful as you are. And if you think, oh, I'm not really prideful, those are usually the most prideful. That's what all the lists said. The people who don't think they're prideful are usually the most prideful. And so that's what I thought. And it was totally true. And so when I read almost all the lists say that. The people who don't think they're prideful are the most prideful, usually. And they just don't know what pride looks like. So I would say work on your pride, be in the Word, ask God to work on your pride,